Have you ever felt stuck in a life that doesn't feel like your own? Like you're caught in a loop of expectations, routines, and obligations that no longer serve who you want to become? Here's a truth that might shock you sometimes. The only way to truly find yourself is to disappear from the noise, the distractions, and even the person you used to be. In this video, we're diving into the art of transformation, how to disappear, not in the physical sense, but in a way that lets you reinvent yourself completely. We're talking about stepping away from what no longer serves you, embracing solitude, and building a version of yourself that aligns with the life you've always dreamed of living. If you've ever wanted to hit the reset button, keep watching, because this might just be the guide you've been searching for. Life has a way of boxing us in. Society, family, work, they all have expectations, and we fall in line, often without realizing it. We become what others expect of us rather than who we're truly meant to be. The problem is we stop questioning, we stop exploring, and over time we lose sight of our potential. But here's the good news: no matter where you are right now, it's never too late to change. The challenge, however, is that transformation requires a bold first step. That step is disappearing not from life, but from the habits, routines, and identities that keep you stuck. Step one, understand why disappearing matters. Let's talk about the idea of disappearing not in a dramatic run away from your life kind of way, but in a purposeful, intentional way that allows you to press the reset button. It's about stepping back from the noise and chaos that surrounds you. The world is loud, isn't it? Notifications, emails, social media updates, endless to-do lists. It's like a constant hum in the background of your life, robbing you of focus and clarity. Now, why does disappearing work? Because it creates space to think, to breathe, and to realign with who you truly are. When you disappear from the distractions, you give yourself the gift of clarity. Think about this: when was the last time you truly listened to your own thoughts? Not the opinions of others, not the endless chatter of the world, but your own authentic voice. The truth is, we often get so caught up in the noise of life that we forget to check in with ourselves. We lose touch with what matters most. And here's the catch: transformation requires clarity. You can't change your life if you don't know what needs to change. That's why disappearing matters. But let's be clear, disappearing doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities. It's not about running away from your life, it's about becoming intentional about what you allow into your life. It's about setting boundaries and saying no to the things that drain your energy or don't align with your goals. Take social media, for example. How much time do you spend mindlessly scrolling? It feels harmless, right? But every minute you spend consuming the lives and opinions of others is a minute you could spend creating the life you want. By stepping back, by disappearing from the endless feed, you reclaim that time and energy for yourself. And it's not just about social media, it's about toxic relationships too. You know the kind I'm talking about, the ones that leave you feeling drained, undervalued, or stuck. Disappearing from those relationships isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't grow in an environment that stifles your potential. There's also the pressure you put on yourself. Sometimes the loudest noise comes from within. The expectations, the self-doubt, the fear of failure, they can all keep you stuck in a cycle of overthinking and underachieving. When you choose to disappear, you're choosing to silence those internal critics. You're giving yourself permission to reset and start fresh. Disappearing is about taking control of your life. It's about saying, I deserve better, and I'm willing to create the space for it. It's not easy, of course. Stepping away from the familiar, even when it's not serving you, takes courage. But the rewards are worth it. When you disappear, you gain perspective. You start to see the bigger picture. You realize that the things you were chasing might not have been what you truly wanted. You discover what really matters to you. And here's the best part: disappearing allows you to focus on yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that says, I matter. My goals, my dreams, my well-being, they matter. It's about prioritizing yourself so you can show up as the best version of you, not just for yourself, but for those around you. The beauty of disappearing is that it's a choice. You get to decide what you step away from and what you step toward. Maybe it's taking a break from social media. Maybe it's spending less time with people who don't lift you up. Or maybe it's as simple as carving out time each day to sit in silence and reflect. Whatever it looks like for you, disappearing is the first step toward transformation. It's the reset button you've been searching for. It's your chance to say no to distractions and yes to yourself. So take a moment to ask yourself, what do I need to step away from? What noise is clouding my clarity? Write it down. Reflect on it. And then make the choice to disappear from what no longer serves you. Because when you create space for yourself, you create space for growth. Step 2, embrace solitude. Solitude. For some, it's a comforting thought, a chance to recharge and reconnect with yourself. But for others, it's terrifying. The idea of being alone with no distractions, no external validation can feel overwhelming. Why is that? Because solitude forces us to confront ourselves, and that's not always easy. But here's the thing, solitude isn't loneliness. Let's get that clear. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, a sense of being disconnected from others. Solitude, on the other hand, is a choice. It's a space you create for yourself where you can think, reflect, and grow. When you embrace solitude, you give yourself the gift of self-discovery. Think about it. How can you truly know who you are if you're constantly surrounded by the noise and opinions of others? Solitude allows you to strip away the external and get to the core of who you are. It's in solitude that you can ask yourself the big questions. What do I want out of life? What are my values? What's holding me back? These are questions that require deep reflection, and you can't do that in a noisy, distracted environment. But solitude isn't just about reflection. It's also about recharging. Life is demanding. Work, relationships, responsibilities, they all take energy. If you're constantly giving without taking time to refill your own cup, you'll burn out. Solitude is where you go to recharge, to replenish your energy so you can show up fully for yourself and others. Here's an important point. Solitude isn't something that just happens. You have to create it. That might mean setting boundaries, like turning off your phone for an hour each evening or saying no to social invitations that don't align with your goals. It might mean waking up an hour earlier to have some quiet time before the world wakes up. One powerful way to embrace solitude is through journaling. There's something magical about putting pen to paper. It's a way to process your thoughts, to work through challenges, and to gain clarity. When you journal, you're having a conversation with yourself, a conversation that can lead to insights and breakthroughs. Another way is through spending time in nature. There's a calming, grounding energy in being surrounded by the natural world. Go for a walk in the park, sit by a lake, or simply step outside and feel the sun on your skin. Nature has a way of reminding us of what's truly important. Solitude also teaches you to trust yourself. When you're alone, you don't have anyone else to rely on. You have to make decisions for yourself, to listen to your intuition. And the more you do this, the more confident you become in your own abilities. It's worth noting that embracing solitude doesn't mean isolating yourself completely. Humans are social beings, and connection is important. But there's a difference between meaningful connection and constant distraction. Solitude helps you discern between the two. The beauty of solitude is that it creates space for creativity. When your mind isn't cluttered with external input, you start to see things differently. You come up with ideas, solutions, and perspectives that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. So how do you embrace solitude? Start small. Maybe it's 5 minutes of quiet time each morning. Maybe it's an afternoon spent unplugged from technology. Whatever it looks like for you, make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. And remember, solitude is a practice. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being constantly connected. But the more you practice it, the more you'll come to value it. In solitude, you'll find clarity, you'll find peace. And most importantly, you'll find yourself. So take the time to embrace it. Because transformation begins in the quiet moments. Step 3, let go of your old identity. Transformation requires letting go. Let's sit with that for a moment. It's not a small thing. In fact, it might be the most challenging part of your journey. Why? Because we are wired to cling to what's familiar. Even if that familiarity isn't serving us, it still feels safe. And safety for many is more comfortable than the uncertainty of change. But here's the truth, the version of you that got you to this point in life is not the version that will take you where you want to go. Think of it this way: if you keep doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, and holding on to the same habits, you'll keep getting the same results. To achieve something different, you need to become someone different. Letting go of your old identity is not about rejecting your past or erasing who you were. It's about recognizing that your old self was simply one chapter in your story. It's about honoring the role it played in bringing you here while acknowledging that it's time to write a new chapter. So how do you begin this process? Start by asking yourself a simple but powerful question: who am I holding on to that no longer serves me? Maybe it's a career path that felt right at one point but no longer aligns with your goals. Perhaps it's a relationship that drains your energy instead of uplifting you. Or it could be a mindset, a belief about yourself or the world that keeps you stuck. Whatever it is, name it, write it down. Seeing it on paper gives it form and makes it real. Acknowledging what no longer serves you is the first step. But acknowledgement alone isn't enough. You have to make the conscious decision to release it. And let's be honest, that's not easy. Letting go can feel like stepping into the unknown. But here's the thing, the unknown is where growth happens. Think of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. For a time, it retreats into a cocoon, a dark, uncertain space where it's no longer what it was, but not yet what it will become. That in-between space can be uncomfortable. But it's also where the magic happens. The same is true for you. When you let go of your old identity, you're stepping into that in-between space. And while it might feel unsettling, it's also where you'll find the freedom to grow. Now, letting go doesn't mean forgetting or denying your past. Your past is part of your story, and it has shaped you in ways that are valuable. But holding onto your past too tightly can prevent you from moving forward. It's like trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack. The more you let go, the lighter and freer you become. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. Often the hardest thing to let go of is not a job, a relationship, or a situation. It's the beliefs we hold about ourselves. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not good at this, or I'll never be able to do that. These beliefs become part of your identity, and over time they can feel like the truth. But here's the reality: your beliefs are not facts. They're just stories you've told yourself, often based on past experiences or other people's opinions. And just as you've learned to believe those stories, you can unlearn them. One powerful way to let go of limiting beliefs is to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? If the answer is no, replace it with a new belief that aligns with the person you want to become. For example, instead of saying, I'm not good at public speaking, say, I'm learning to become a confident communicator. Notice the shift. It's not about denying your current reality, it's about opening yourself up to growth. Letting go is a process, not an event. It takes time, and that's okay. Be patient with yourself. Some days it will feel easy. Other days it will feel like you're taking 2 steps back for every step forward. But as long as you keep moving, you're making progress. So take a moment today to reflect. What part of your old identity are you ready to release? Write it down. Acknowledge it. And then little by little begin to let it go. Because when you do, you create space for something new, something better to take its place. Step 4, create a vision for your new self. If letting go is the first half of transformation, creating a vision is the second. Once you've released what no longer serves you, it's time to focus on what you want to become. Here's a simple truth: you can't achieve a goal you haven't defined. Transformation doesn't just happen by accident. It requires a clear, intentional vision. You need to know where you're going if you ever hope to get there. So let's start with a question: what does your ideal life look like? Take a moment to imagine it. Not just the surface level details like the house you'll live in or the car you'll drive. Go deeper. How will you feel when you wake up in the morning? What kind of work will you do? How will you spend your time? What kind of relationships will you have? Now here's the key: don't just think about your ideal life. Think about the person you need to become to live that life. Because the truth is, your external reality is a reflection of your internal reality. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing yourself. Once you have a vision, write it down. Be as detailed as possible. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, write, I will exercise for 30 minutes every day, eat balanced meals, and drink plenty of water. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, write, I will build a career that aligns with my passions and values, earning enough to support the lifestyle I desire. Break your vision into actionable steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming, but when you break them down into smaller tasks, they become manageable. For example, if your vision includes becoming financially independent, start by creating a budget or setting up a savings plan. And remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, intentional effort. Think of it like planting a garden. You don't plant a seed and expect a tree to grow the next day. You water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. The same is true for your vision. One powerful tool for staying on track is visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself living your ideal life. Picture it in vivid detail. Feel the emotions that come with it. Visualization helps reinforce your vision and keeps you motivated to take action. But don't stop at visualization, take action. Even small steps taken consistently can lead to big changes over time. Maybe it's reading a book that aligns with your goals, attending a workshop, or simply getting up 30 minutes earlier each day to work on your vision. Transformation isn't just about reaching a destination, it's about becoming the kind of person who achieves that destination. It's about adopting the habits, mindset, and values of the person you want to be. So today, take some time to create your vision, write it down, break it into steps, and then start taking action. Because the future belongs to those who are willing to create it. And you have the power to create a future that's bigger, better, and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. Step 5, commit to daily habits. Transformation doesn't happen in a single dramatic moment. It's not the product of one big decision or a single leap of faith. True transformation is built on the foundation of daily habits, the small, seemingly insignificant actions you take every day. Why are habits so powerful? Because they shape your identity. The things you do consistently define who you are. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing what you do each day. Let's start with a simple question: what habits align with the person you want to become? Take a moment to reflect on that. If your vision includes becoming healthier, maybe it's committing to a daily walk or choosing water over soda. If your vision includes financial independence, perhaps it's tracking your spending or setting aside a percentage of your income for savings. The key is to start small. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change too much too fast. They set ambitious goals like going to the gym for 2 hours a day or reading a book a week, only to burn out after a few days. Remember, transformation is a marathon, not a sprint. Start with habits that feel manageable, even easy. Once those habits are ingrained, you can build on them. Let's take an example. Suppose you want to develop a habit of reading every day. Instead of committing to reading 50 pages right away, start with just 1 page. Yes, 1 page. It might seem insignificant, but that's the point. It's so easy that there's no excuse not to do it. Once you've established the habit, you can gradually increase the amount. Over time, those small efforts compound, leading to significant change. This principle of starting small applies to every area of your life. Want to get in shape? Start with 5 minutes of movement a day. Want to improve your relationships? Commit to 1 meaningful conversation a week. Want to grow in your career? Spend 10 minutes each day learning a new skill. Now let's talk about consistency. This is where most people struggle. It's easy to stick to a habit when you're feeling motivated. But motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll wake up feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Other days you'll want to hit snooze and skip your commitments. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up for yourself day after day, no matter how you feel. And here's the thing, the more consistent you are, the easier it gets. Habits have a compounding effect. The more you do something, the more it becomes part of who you are. To help you stay consistent, consider tracking your habits. Create a simple chart or use a habit tracking app to record your progress. There's something satisfying about checking off a habit each day, and it can help you stay motivated. Another powerful tool is habit stacking. This involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you want to start meditating, you could do it right after brushing your teeth in the morning. By attaching the new habit to a routine you already have, it becomes easier to remember and stick to. And remember, perfection isn't the goal, progress is. There will be days when you slip up, and that's okay. What matters is that you get back on track as quickly as possible. Don't let one missed day turn into a missed week or month. Transformation is about the long game. So today, take a moment to identify the habits that align with your vision. Start small, stay consistent, and trust the process. Because when you commit to daily habits, you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you are. Step 6, stay disciplined. Let's face it, disappearing and transforming yourself is not an easy journey. The world is full of distractions, temptations, and doubts that will try to pull you back into your old patterns. That's why discipline is so important. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded, the compass that keeps you moving toward your goals. But what exactly is discipline? Many people think of it as deprivation, as forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. But that's not what discipline is about. Discipline is devotion. It's a commitment to your growth, your dreams, and your future. It's the willingness to do what's necessary, even when it's uncomfortable, because you know it's worth it. The first step to staying disciplined is to set clear boundaries for yourself. Boundaries are not restrictions, they're protections. They protect your time, your energy, and your focus. Without boundaries, it's easy to get pulled in 100 different directions. For example, if you're committed to learning a new skill, set aside a specific time each day to practice. Protect that time like you would an important appointment. Say no to distractions, whether it's social media, unnecessary obligations, or even your own excuses. Speaking of excuses, let's talk about them for a moment. Excuses are the enemy of discipline. They're the stories we tell ourselves to justify staying in our comfort zone. I'm too tired, I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? Here's the truth, there will never be a perfect time to start. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and reasons to wait. But discipline is about taking action anyway. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. One way to strengthen your discipline is to focus on your why. Why are you doing this? What's the deeper reason behind your goals? Maybe you want to create a better life for your family. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can overcome your fears. Whatever your why is, keep it front and center. Write it down. Remind yourself of it every day. Another powerful strategy is to celebrate your progress. Discipline doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means recognizing and rewarding your efforts. Each time you stick to your commitments, take a moment to acknowledge it. Give yourself credit for showing up. These small celebrations reinforce your discipline and keep you motivated. Let's also address the importance of accountability. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one is watching. But when you share your goals with someone you trust, you create a layer of accountability that can help you stay on track. Find a friend, mentor, or coach who can support you and hold you accountable. Finally, remember that discipline is a skill, not a trait. It's something you can develop and strengthen over time. The more you practice discipline, the easier it becomes. Start with small commitments and build from there. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you're training your mind to stay disciplined. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up day after day, even when it's hard, because you believe in your vision. It's about staying true to yourself and your goals, no matter what challenges come your way. So as you continue on your journey, make discipline your anchor. Set boundaries, stay focused, celebrate your progress, and most importantly, stay devoted to the person you're becoming. Because discipline is not just a tool for transformation, it's the foundation of a life well lived. Step 7, reconnect intentionally. Transformation is a deeply personal journey, but it's not one that has to remain solitary forever. Once you've gone through the process of disappearing and reshaping your life, the next step is just as crucial: reconnecting. But this time you'll do it with purpose and intention, not out of habit or obligation. The people you surround yourself with will play a significant role in shaping your future. If your goal is to sustain the growth and change you've worked so hard to achieve, then it's essential to reconnect with the right kind of people, those who inspire you, challenge you, and support your vision for the person you've become. Let's break this process down step by step so you can approach it with clarity and purpose. No one can thrive in isolation forever. While solitude is necessary for transformation, relationships are essential for fulfillment. They provide support, perspective, and opportunities for growth that we simply can't access alone. But here's the key: not all connections are created equal. Some relationships nurture your growth, while others hold you back. Reconnecting intentionally means choosing relationships that align with the new version of yourself, not the old one. Think of it this way: you're no longer the same person who disappeared. You've let go of old habits, limiting beliefs, and toxic patterns. So why would you surround yourself with people who reinforce those things? Reconnecting intentionally ensures that your external world matches your internal transformation. It creates a supportive environment where you can continue to grow and thrive. Before you can reconnect, you need to take an honest look at your current relationships. Who are the people in your life right now? And more importantly, how do they make you feel? Ask yourself these questions. Do they inspire me to be better, or do they pull me down? Do I feel energized after spending time with them, or do I feel drained? Do they support my growth, or do they resist it? These questions are not about judging others, but about recognizing what serves you and what doesn't. Transformation is a deeply personal journey, and it's okay to outgrow relationships that no longer align with your values or goals. In today's world, it's easy to equate connection with quantity: how many followers you have, how many friends you can count on social media, how busy your social calendar is. But real connection isn't about numbers. It's about depth. One meaningful relationship can do more for your growth and happiness than 100 shallow ones. When you reconnect intentionally, focus on quality over quantity. Seek out people who encourage your growth and celebrate your progress. Challenge you to think bigger and aim higher. Share similar values and aspirations. These are the kinds of relationships that will propel you forward, not hold you back. Reconnecting doesn't always mean going back to the people you knew before. Sometimes it means seeking out new connections, individuals who align with the person you're becoming. So where do you find like-minded individuals? Start by engaging in activities that reflect your interests and values. Join a community group, attend workshops or seminars, or participate in online forums related to your goals. For example, if you're passionate about personal growth, look for events or communities centered around self-improvement. If you're pursuing a new skill or career, connect with others in that field. Surrounding yourself with people who share your interests creates natural opportunities for meaningful relationships to form. Reconnecting intentionally doesn't mean saying yes to everyone who wants your time and attention. It means being selective about who you let into your life and how much access they have to you. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, they're about protecting your energy and focus. They ensure that your relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. Here are some practical ways to set boundaries. Be clear about your availability. Let others know when you're free to connect and when you need time for yourself. Say no to invitations or requests that don't align with your goals or values. Limit interactions with people who drain your energy or bring negativity into your life. Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They show others that you value your time and energy, and they encourage them to do the same. Once you've identified the people you want to reconnect with, focus on nurturing those relationships. Transformation isn't just about personal growth, it's about growing together with the right people by your side. Here are some ways to nurture intentional connections. Prioritize meaningful conversations. Small talk has its place, but true connection comes from discussing what matters most, your dreams, challenges, and insights. Be present when you're spending time with someone. Give them your full attention. Put away distractions and truly listen to what they're saying. Offer value. Relationships are a two-way street. Think about how you can support and uplift the people you care about, whether it's offering advice, sharing resources, or simply being there when they need you. Reconnecting intentionally also means recognizing when it's time to let go of certain relationships. This can be one of the hardest parts of the process, but it's essential for maintaining your transformation. If a relationship consistently brings negativity, stress, or resistance into your life, it may be time to move on. Letting go doesn't have to be dramatic or confrontational. It can simply mean creating more distance and focusing your energy on other connections. Remember, you're not abandoning people, you're choosing to prioritize your growth and well-being. And that's not something to feel guilty about. When you reconnect with the right people, something incredible happens. Your growth becomes exponential. The right connections amplify your progress, inspire new ideas, and provide a support system that makes challenges easier to navigate. Even more importantly, intentional reconnection creates a ripple effect. As you grow and thrive, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your transformation becomes a source of inspiration for others, encouraging them to pursue their own growth. This is the true power of intentional reconnection. It's not just about building relationships, it's about building a community of growth, support, and shared purpose. Reconnecting intentionally is the bridge between solitude and community, between transformation and contribution. It's about surrounding yourself with people who align with your vision and values, people who challenge and inspire you to be your best self. So take this step with purpose. Assess your current relationships, seek out like-minded individuals, set boundaries, and nurture the connections that matter most. Because the right relationships won't just support your transformation, they'll elevate it. Climax key moment. The moment you realize that transformation isn't about becoming someone else, it's about uncovering who you've been all along, is the moment everything changes. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your journey is your own, and it's worth every step. Disappearing isn't about running away from life, it's about running toward your potential. It's about creating space to breathe, think, and grow. And when you reemerge, you'll do so with clarity, purpose, and strength. Transformation isn't easy, but it's worth it. By disappearing from what holds you back and committing to the habits, relationships, and vision that move you forward, you can create a life that feels aligned and meaningful. This year, make the choice to step away from the noise. Focus on yourself. Build the life you've always dreamed of. The path won't always be smooth, but it will always be worth it.